time no see. We had a good Sabbath school this morning. And good morning. Good to see you. Well, I think I just need to put it up closer to my mouth. Sorry. Ice cream cone, yeah. Well, have you ever noticed that sometimes it's hard to get along with people? Maybe not. Maybe you always get along with your brother. You never squabble, do you? Well, this story is about two friends named, and I brought my paper so I wouldn't forget, Ned and Marty. And they were good friends. But sometimes they would argue, and sometimes they would fight, and sometimes they would fight so much it would be a big squabble, and people in town would even notice. And you'd think, well, what are their parents going to do about this? What are their teachers going to do about this? Well, they were dogs. So their parents weren't going to do anything about it, and their teachers weren't going to do anything because they were dogs. But sometimes they were best friends, and sometimes they would fight. And sometimes the fight would turn from a play fighting. You've seen dogs wrestling. And then sometimes they would get angry and they would just and really fight. Well, let's see. These two enemy friends decided one day to see what was happening down at the pier. Do you know what a pier is? Big like dock that goes out into the water. Well, this one was up really high. They were wandering around and they were in their good times where they were playing together and being friendly. And they were watching the boats and barking at the seagulls and having a fun time. And they started kind of wrestling and nipping at each other. And before you knew it, the nipping and the playing became fighting. And then their teeth started coming out and they were growling at each other, rolling around until they fell off the pier into the water. Splash, way down into the water, and it was so cold that snapped them out of their fight. Well, Ned was a Newfoundland. Do you know what a Newfoundland is? It is a dog. It's a big dog, and they're used to the water. And he had no problem in the water. He wasn't angry anymore. He just swam back to shore. But the other dog, Marty, was a Mastiff, and he didn't have a lot of fur, and the water was cold, and he was having a hard time swimming, and he was struggling with the waves, and he was starting to sink. And there was Ned on the shore, the Newfoundland. He had already got out of the water, and he looks back and he sees his friend who was starting to sink under the waves. So what do you think Marty did, or Ned did? He went back in the water to save his friend. He did. He went back in the water and he grabbed his friend by the collar and dragged him to safety and rescued his friend. And do you know what? They never fought again after that. They were buddies and they realized fighting doesn't bring us anything good. It causes problems. We fall in the water and we almost drown. So they never fought again after that. Even dogs can learn lessons. And this story came with a special verse, and I wanted to read it to you. It's a very good verse in 1 Thessalonians. It says, "Live in peace with each other. Make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always try to be kind to each other and to everyone, and kind to each other and to everyone else." So I don't know what that means. Kind to each other and everyone else. That includes everybody, doesn't it? Good story, and I think we can learn how sometimes if we feel like we're squabbling, it's better to figure out a way to get along. All right. Thank you for coming to Sabbath school this morning and to listen to my story. You can go back to your seats.